Nandara, you know that when women who were positioned to leave companies on a sabbatical because they had to give birth, there was a concept and a conversation around work from home. And many women whispered about it being a death knell as far as their careers were concerned. They knew that the minute they embraced the concept of work from home, that means that their careers would meet a dead end, that there would be no coming back. And I think with COVID, work from home became as much a male concept as it did a female one. It also changed a little bit of the matrix at home, where you saw a lot of men participating in so-called homemaking chores. And I think that technology became that leveler is to be celebrated, but also be sustained. I'm just hoping in a post-COVID world, we don't actualize the old norm and we continue with the new.
So here's hoping for that. But ma'am, while technology has been a leveler, in every case, it's not been, because access to technology is not always cheap. Yes, you may get an internet connection, which is cheap, but the device is not. And I'm sure you've heard of many instances where schoolgirls, college girls, those in offices have had to suffer. They only have one device at home, if at all.
No, absolutely. I think the affordability of devices is quite a challenge, not only for the female gender, but I think that families who are challenged economically might today struggle and continue to do so with regards to access to not only device, but also affordable technology, especially when it comes to engagements in the education sector. And I think that the recent pronouncement by the Government of India with regards to the BLI scheme and IT hardware will make India go from strength to strength. There has been a revolution of sorts in mobile technology and manufacturing of mobiles in India. And I'm hoping to see the same in the IT hardware segment. I think that given the size of our market, affordability of devices, in fact, will encompass new avenues of revenue generation for many companies, given the volume of people who want an affordable device. And I'm hoping that there'll be new investment in not only frugal technology, but also in ensuring that the technology culminates into a user-friendly product.
Ma'am, there's so many reports, studies, data out there which just shows what can happen to the Indian economy, the per capita income, our purchasing power, if more women were to enter the workforce. As the union minister, what are the biggest challenges that you're seeing on that front? Why are we not? What will it take to get more women to participate in the workforce?
I think that one of the greatest challenges we have is to ensure that more and more women come into the organized sector. Because if you look at the numbers right now, they blossom when it comes to the unorganized sector. And one of the reasons is that there is resistance with regards to pay parity. There is a resistance to giving women as much access to facilities as there would be incumbent upon an organization in the organized sector. For instance, the government did give a prolonged maternity leave under the aegis of the Honorable Prime Minister. And it was quite heart-wrenching when industry, in fact, responded by saying, I don't think such a long gestation period with regards to maternity leave will be helpful for women. And I think that these kind of inputs where a government, for instance, in textiles, the government gave additional support with regards to Provident Fund, with regards to formalization of labor in the textile segment, wherein 70% of the sector is serviced by women. So I think segment by segment, if we look at formalization, one of the largest spaces where a large contingent of unorganized labor in the female gender exists is agriculture. So if you look at agricultural labor today, you will find that 80 to 90% of that labor is female oriented. And I think that when you see systems get more into the organized setup, that's when you see the formal labor force participation numbers for women go up. But I think that my concern also stems from a future which holds a challenge today in the present. There are conversations around technology and STEM-based jobs in the forthcoming economic cycles. There is an assumption that you will have close to 80% of the new jobs based on STEM. And I think that the migration of women from the school system onwards to the higher education systems and their oscillation towards technology institution is an abysmal 20 to 25%. And I think that's where we also need to focus on, because if most of the jobs are going to be tech-based and STEM-based, will women stand a chance to have an equal opportunity to compete for those jobs with men?